Hello and welcome to today's live stream. It's been fun getting this set up. I just updated Flight Sim again, and I broke a couple things and I've had to play around over the last day or two. And it's up and running now, so hopefully it'll last and it will keep going. So, we are in Oslo, Norway. And we are going to be flying down to London, England on the Airbus A320neo. Just show you the route. We're currently, the airport here is north, pretty much north of Oslo itself. We're going to fly down here, out over the channel here, then down across the North Sea. We'll come in over the eastern side of England and then turn into the west towards London, landing down here at London Heathrow. So it's 652 miles. Should take us, I don't know, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So a good size, good decent flight to enjoy the scenery. Live weather. I have been playing with Rex's weather force a little bit. And with this latest update, they did a weather update, so hopefully it's injecting the weather properly. We'll see what happens. So let's jump into the aircraft and see what is going on. All right, so we're inside the aircraft. We'll start going down the checklist. So parking brakes are on. Chocks are set. Ground power is attached. We can tell because it says ground power is available. Engine masters set to normal. Batteries, come on. And external power is activated. There we go. Everything is now up and running. So panel displays will get set up. Turn our brightness up on all of them. It is kind of overcast, so it's going to be a little bit dark out. Get that one up. We'll get the ECAM upper and lower up. And we'll get our overhead illuminated as well. Next up is the adheres. We'll get those aligning. Panel displays are set. We'll get the nav lights on. Landing gear lever is confirmed down. Flaps are retracted. Spoiler is disarmed. Fuel quantity is good. Seat belts and no smoking signs are on. And we can get the passengers loading in the back. We'll make sure the radio's on. There we go. So de-ice is currently off. Transponder we will set to 7,000, which it is. And now we wait. So it's going to take 7 minutes for the IRS to align. That is the navigation system, how we navigate around the cockpit. Cabin door is open. Passengers are starting to load, so we can go up here and tell them to get catering service going, and we'll get the baggage going as well. And you can see they've opened up those doors in the back. So we'll go down the panel, make sure everything is set. Terrain fault, that's fine, she's turned off. We'll turn on the crew oxygen. We'll come down here, electrics are looking good. We'll turn the air on, get some air moving in the cockpit and in the back. So we're good down here. we're good on the lights. We'll arm the emergency lights, and that's all set there. And everything else is good down on the pedestal. So our cruising altitude today will be 32,000 feet. There we go, 32. And that is set. Speed will be managed, heading will be managed by the aircraft. So now we can go down here to the McDo and set it up. So here's the aircraft information. Active database is currently active, October 8th to November 4th. GPU primary lost because we're still in alignment mode. So for our initialization, we're flying from ENGM, which is Oslo International, to EGLL, which is London International. Our alternate today will be let's clear that, EGCC, which is Manchester, just in case the London area is weathered in. And today's flight is SK, let me look it up, 276. Of course, that's Scandinavian Airlines. Cost index for this aircraft is 25. And again, our cruising altitude will be 32,000 feet. For our flight plan today, let's just go to the top. We're taking off on runway 19 left, and we're using the VIPI 1C departure. And for London, it is expected we'll be landing on runway, oh, looks like they just closed the baggage doors. We will be landing on 27 right. So estimated flight time of 1 hour and 32 minutes. So about 2 hours gate to gate or so. So if you look outside, yep, the baggage you guys have pulled away. The catering truck has pulled away. It's just passenger boarding now and waiting for the IRS to align. It's still saying 7 minutes. Hopefully it's working properly. This is the, with the update, they broke the stable version of the program. Just get myself aligned here in the seat. They broke the stable version of the program. So I'm on the development version, and of course it's not fully tested. We'll see how that goes. Oh, it's clicking down, 6 minutes now. So we're good. So we're recording this on the 31st of October, Halloween. I know a lot of places, due to the pandemic, have either canceled or recommended against Halloween. I don't know what people are doing in your neck of the woods, but hopefully you get a chance to get out and do something, even if it's just for the kids. So again, the aircraft is set up, pretty much ready to go. I'll show you where we are currently. Okay, so we are this is Oslo Airport. As you can see, this is the gate we're currently at. This is the main passenger terminal. We're going to be taking off runway 19 left. So we're going to push back. We'll push back tail to the right when you're looking at the aircraft from the rear, and then we will taxi this way. We'll go up
Shamrock 15, remember, limit your taxi, Hotel 2,
Victor, come across Victor, down to Tango. Actually, we'll go over here to Sierra, out here to Bravo 9, and then onto the runway. And our takeoff will be pretty much direct to the south.
Runway 34, Hotel 1, link 4,
should be a good flight. If we look at the departure chart, here we have it here. We'll be taking off. We're heading down to Vipa. That's the departure we're on. And so this is going to be our basically our flight path as we leave the Oslo airport. And then we head out.
Ground, good morning, Ryanair 452.
And our route, as mentioned, we're going to come down over the water, over the North Sea, and then down here, coming in over the eastern part of England, and then coming around for the arrival into London. A pretty straightforward flight. It's currently about 10:15 in the morning. Game time. So we'll see how it goes. Wonder if we can get the weather here. Opening clearance. Let's tune in ADA, see what it says. Winds are 139 at 4, that's fine. Visibility is 3. Sky conditions.
United 53, we're all set.
Few clouds at 11,000 or 1,100. Few clouds at 4,700.
Okay, then taxi ahead on Bravo onto Echo, and on Echo hold short of runway 28.
Clouds at 11,700.
Echo and short of 28 at Echo, United 53.
5 degrees out, so it's above freezing. And the altimeter 293. It's not giving it to me in hectopascals, but that's fine.
Juliet, hold short, runway 28.
Thank you, Juliet, hold short, runway 28.
Alright. So we've got the weather.
Race set 552, contact tower 181.
Shamrock 105, monitor tower 118.6.
Monitor 118.6, Shamrock 105,
so you should
Ryanair
be
5, Hotel
brighter.
Victor, taxi Hotel 1, left turn, enter runway 16, hold short runway 28. Hotel 1, F16, short 28. Shamrock 15, remember, limit your taxi Hotel 2, hold short runway 28.
We'll deal with that in a minute.
Okay,
Alright, so we're 2 minutes out from IRS alignment. Going to go over here. We're going to start up the APU just so that we have it running for when we're ready for pushback.
15 November, continue taxi, cross runway 34, Hotel 1, link 4, 8.4, stand
we'll go from there. We can head over to our performance page now. We'll do our update to our takeoff. It's going to be a flaps 1 takeoff, so we'll recalculate our V speeds. Our V1 is 136, our rotate is 141, V2 is 145. Flaps open on the APU, so we'll start that up. So it should be ready to go in time for pushback.
Good morning, Ryanair.
And we can jump outside and give it a listen.
Good day, Ryanair 452, uniform, taxi holding point runway 24, White X-Ray, Hotel and Alpha.
Taxiway, Hotel and Alpha to runway 24. We can take it to section Bravo as well, Ryanair 452 uniform.
So we're flying the older SAS livery today. It was updated for 2020. But this aircraft is in the pre-2019-2020 paint scheme.
Qatari 18 cubic Ramos, stand 105 with information ready for push and start.
Qatari 18, Quebec Romeo, good day again. Pushback start.
Alright, just coming up to speed. And the IRSs have a line. You see they've now kicked in. We can do a quick check on our route. We come in here. You can go to our flight plan and it will display it. And we can click down through the nav points. Come out, all heading down over the North Sea. And then there we are in our approach into England and then our loop and into the runway. So that all looks good.
Ready for taxi
Our
for the
flight
gate?
plan is correct.
Okay, then taxi ahead on Bravo
good
onto
there.
Echo and on Echo hold short of
The
runway
APU
28.
is up. It's about 95%. Generators have kicked in.
At Echo United 53.
And everything is now stabilizing. So we're going to throw the beacon light on, let the ground crew know that we're getting ready to go. APU is now available. APU bleeds will come on. You hear the air conditioning all start up inside the aircraft.
Thank you, Juliet. Full short
And we can turn off the external power.
Basis set 552, connect tower 1181.
Alright, so it sounds like the passengers are all on board now.
Shamrock 105, monitor tower
We
118.
can get ready to go. So we're going to tell the crew to take the jetway away.
Hotel 1, left turn, enter runway 16, hold short runway 28.
So now start moving. There she goes. And doors are all closed. So we'll continue on the checklist. Transponder 7000 on standby.
Okay, hotel.
Beacon lights are on. Emergency exit lights are on. FMC is set up and checked, ready to go. We've briefed our departure. Doors are checked and the doors are all closed. So we'll lock the cockpit door.
Crossway 1634, Hotel 1 Link 4, apron 4
And
to
we are
312,
good
camera, scan 15
to begin the pushback. So APU is on, APU bleed is on, and the generators are on, and everything is good there.
Traffic park behind you, I'll call you back. Roger, fine.
Thrust levers are set to idle.
Ground,
The
good
fuel
morning,
pump
Ryanair
switch is
45
on.
uniform 753, request taxi.
Good day, Ryanair 452, uniform, taxi holding point runway 24, right
And everything is now clear.
Taxiway, hotel and Alpha to runway
We
24.
begin
We can take section Bravo as well, Ryanair
Our
452.
push.
Roger, so Hotel Bravo holding point 24.
Hotel Bravo, thanks for holding for runway
Get him
24,
going.
452 uniform.
So the push cart's now coming in. And as soon as he starts pushing, we can start up the first of the engines. Parking brake is off.
Romeo, good day again. Pushback startup is approved.
Fuel pumps are all on.
1033, time check 06.
Push and start up move for a place 0 is left on QNH 1063 time check. Kabari 1, 8 to be gone.
So any second now we should begin the push. There we go. So starter goes on and starting engine number 1.
United 53, we're all set.
To confirm you're ready for taxi for the gate?
That's correct, United 53.
Okay, then taxi ahead on Bravo onto Echo and on Echo hold short of runway 28.
Bravo, Echo, and short of 28 at Echo, United 53. Apron Mellow Line through 10 Mike, Hotel 1.
I-10 Mike apron, taxi via taxiway Juliet, hold short runway 28.
Thank you, Juliet, hold short, runway 28,
Basis set 552, connect tower 1181.
Shamrock 105, monitor tower 118.6.
Monitor 118.6, Shamrock 057.
Ryanair
Alright,
5,
jump
Hotel
back
Victor,
inside.
Hotel 1, left turn, enter runway 16, hold short runway 2.
There we are.
Hotel 1, F16, short 2.
With the hydraulic pumps.
Shamrock 15, remember, limit your taxi, Hotel 2, hold short runway 34.
And you can just put us right there.
Runway 34, Shamrock 15.
Probably a little off, but that's fine. So park brake will go on. He's pulling out.
Shamrock 15 November, continue taxi, cross runway 34, Hotel 1, link
So
4,
engine number 1 is
4,
up and running.
312.
It is stable, so we will start engine number 2.
4, apron 4 to 312, Shamrock, ground 15 runway.
Into rotation.
Flyer 9 Kilo Juliet, I have traffic park behind you, I'll call you back. Roger, fine, I can.
Ground, good morning, Ryanair 452 uniform 753, request
We have
taxi.
fuel flow
Good day, Ryanair 452 uniform.
ATT's coming up, and one's starting to rotate.
Taxiway, Hotel and Alpha to runway 24. We can take it to section Bravo as well. Ryanair 452 uniform.
Roger, so Hotel Bravo, holding point 24.
Hotel Bravo,
We're monitoring, make sure it doesn't, we don't get a hung start or an overheat. Go 500, 558, and she's coming down. And one's winding up to about 19 and a half.
Qatari 18, Quebec Romeo, good day again.
All right.
Pushback startup is
We're
approved.
stable on
Left,
our engine number 2.
33,
We have good fuel flow, so all the hydraulics are on. All the generators are on. Alright, so the APU bleed can come off. Turn off the APU. And engine start will go back to normal. We'll do before start checklist.
We're all set.
Or before taxi checklist, sorry. Probe heats come on.
That's correct, United 53.
Okay, then taxi ahead on
Altimeter
Bravo onto
are
Echo
set,
and Echo hold
and
short of
cross
runway
check
28.
standby instruments
Bravo,
are
Echo,
set.
and short of 28 at Echo United.
Radios and avionics are set. Autopilot is all set up. Flight directors will come on. Auto brake set to max. Flaps moving to position 1 for takeoff. Elevator trim
Taxi right, taxi Juliet, hold short runway 28.
1 up for takeoff. And flight controls. Go to the flight control page.
Basis at 552, connect tower
Full
118.
left, full right, neutral, full back, full forward, neutral, left rudder, right rudder, neutral.
1018.6,
Alright, we have taxi clearance, so taxi lights come on.
Left turn enter runway
We will now
16,
taxi
short runway
down to the end of the runway.
Shamrock 15, remember your taxi, Hotel 2, hold short runway 34.
Okay, Hotel 2, hold short runway 34, Shamrock 15.
Shamrock 15, November, continue taxi, cross runway 34, Hotel 1, link 4, apron 4, stand 312.
Cross runway 1634, Hotel 1, link 4, apron 4, to 312, Shamrock 15, November.
Alright, we've changed some of the sounds in this update,
Flyer 9
so
Kilo
it's
Juliet, I have traffic spark behind you, I'll call you back.
sounding pretty cool.
Roger, flying 9 Kilo Juliet.
Ground, good morning, Ryanair 452 uniform, stand 53, request taxi.
Good day, Ryanair 452 uniform. Taxi holding point runway 24, right expect Hotel and Alpha.
Alright, so
Taxiway, Hotel and Alpha to runway 24. We can take it to section Bravo as well. Ryanair 452 uniform.
Roger, so Hotel
arm
Bravo,
the-
holding point 24.
Hotel Bravo, thanks for holding point runway
Speed
24,
brakes.
452 uniform.
for some reason, I have not put in the taxiways here.
Qatari 18, Quebec Romeo, good day again. Pushback startup is approved, 08 left, QNH is 10.
I'm looking at an airport diagram which looks different from what this airport looks like here.
Startup move for a place 0 left on QNH 1050, time check. Qatari 1,
Very interesting. So we are going to
United 53.
this is the military side. There's supposed to be, you can see that aircraft landing over there.
That's correct, United 53.
Okay,
There's
then
supposed to be
taxi
taxiways that head
Bravo
over,
to Echo
well,
and
further
on
back
Echo hold
anyway.
short of runway 28.
Bravo, Echo, and
there
short of
wasn't.
28 at Echo United 53.
So I think we're going to make a change here.
Abernello line
Get around the corner.
Hotel 1.
I say 10 Mike apron, taxi right, taxi Juliet, hold short runway
We're going to
28.
go off of 19 right.
Hold short, runway 28.
Just stop here for a second.
Basis at 552, connect tower 118.
So we're going to go to the flight plan. We're going to go in here.
Shamrock 105, London Tower 118.6.
You're not going to let me change you, are you? Nope. All right.
Ryanair 5 Hotel Victor, taxi Hotel 1, left turn, enter runway 16, hold short runway 28.
Oh, looks like we're going to go taxi down.
Shamrock 15, remember, limit your taxi,
Head
taxi
down.
Hotel 2, hold short runway 34.
The other way, see if we can pick up a taxiway that heads out to the eastern side of the airfield.
Shamrock 15, November, continue taxi,
Didn't
cross
include them
runway
for some
34,
reason.
Hotel 1, link 4, apron 4, stand 312.
Cross runway 1634, Hotel 1, link 4, apron 4 to 312, Shamrock, ground 15
Flyer 9 Kilo Juliet, I have traffic parked behind you, I'll call you back.
It's the joys of the sim.
Ground, good morning, Ryanair 452, uniform 753, request taxi.
Good day, Ryanair 452 uniform, taxi holding point runway 24, right
So
expect
across
hotel
here,
and Alpha.
Taxiway,
showing a
hotel and
pair of
Alpha,
taxiways that run over
section Bravo,
to the other side.
Roger, so Hotel Bravo holding point 24.
provide
Hotel
access
Bravo, thanks, for holding point runway 24, 452 uniform.
to the other runway. From what I can see,
Rock Qatari 18 cubic Remo, stand 105 with information.
it doesn't seem to be there.
Push and start.
Qatari 18, Quebec Romeo, good day again. Pushback startup
Slow
is
down.
08 left, QNH is 1033, time check 06.
Roger, push and start up route for runway 0 left on QNH 1053, time check. Qatari 18 cubic Romeo.
Alright, so let's.
United 53, we're all set.
To confirm you're ready for taxi for the gate?
That's
Well, I think we're just going to take off on the runway.
Then taxi ahead on Bravo on
just,
to Echo and on Echo hold short of runway 28.
Bravo, Echo, and short of
A little
28.
too confusing.
United 53. Apron Milo 110 Mike, Hotel 1.
I say 10 Mike apron, taxi right, taxi
What are you gonna do
Juliet,
for a
hold short
second?
runway 28.
Thank you,
I'm just going to take a look and see if there is something that'll let us go over there.
This set 552, connect tower 1181.
Shamrock 105, monitor tower 118.6.
Monitor will
Nope,
make
they've
the
basically
position
cut the
of
whole airport in half.
Ryanair 5
That's
Hotel
not
Victor,
good.
taxi Hotel 1, left turn, enter runway 16, hold short runway 28.
Hotel 1, F16 short.
So we're stuck using the right runway. Alright,
Shamrock 15, remember, limit your taxi, taxi
That's
Hotel
fine.
2, hold short
we
runway
can do
24.
that.
Okay, Hotel 2, Hotel Runway 34, Shamrock 15.
Joys of Microsoft Flight Sim.
Shamrock 15, November, continue taxi, cross runway 34, Hotel 1, link 4, apron 4.
We'll go off on the other one, hand fly it out.
Cross runway 1634, Hotel 1, link 4, apron 4 to 312, Shamrock, ground 15.
Flyer 9 Kilo Juliet, I have traffic parked behind you, I'll call you back. Roger, fly 9 Kilo Juliet.
Ground, good morning, Ryanair 452, uniform 753, request taxi.
Good day, Ryanair 452 uniform, taxi holding point runway 24, right expect hotel and Alpha.
Taxiway, hotel and Alpha
I don't
to
know
runway
why the
24,
airport
we
would
take
be
section Bravo,
built like
Ryanair
that, or why
452.
those taxiways wouldn't be there.
Roger, so Hotel Bravo holding point 24.
Hotel Bravo, thanks for holding point runway 24, 452.
Most other ones I've seen have been fairly accurate.
Rock Qatari 18 cubic Remo, stand 105 with information. Ready for push and start.
Qatari 18, Quebec Romeo, good day again. Pushback startup is approved 08 left, QNH is 1033, time check 06.
Roger, push and start up route for runway
Speed
0
down.
left on QNH 1053.
Looks like somebody's coming in to land.
18 cubic Romeo.
United 53, we're all
She
set.
doesn't want to get away from you now.
Confirm you're ready for taxi for the gate?
That's correct, United 53.
Okay, then taxi ahead
Just
on
update.
Bravo onto Echo, and on Echo hold short of runway 28.
Alright, so the cabin crew know
Bravo,
we're ready to go.
Echo, and short of 28 at Echo, United 53. Apron Mellow Line, 310 Mike, Hotel 1.
I-10 Mike Apron, taxi via taxi with Juliet, hold short runway
Well,
28.
we're doing the check, but it's not picking it up. That's fine.
Basis set 552, contact tower 181.
What is all this is 552? Shamrock 105, Monmouth
Last
Tower
one.
118.6.
10186, Shamrock 105.
No, none of the three are pulling it up. Again, this is the development version. The regular stable version is not quite working properly yet with the new update.
Shamrock 15 November, Manager taxi Hotel 2, hold short runway 34. Okay, Hotel 2, hold short runway 34. Shamrock
You can see the aircraft on the system. TCAS coming in. He's about 3 miles, 2.5 miles out.
Shamrock 15 November, continue taxi, cross runway 34, Hotel 1, link 4, apron 4, stand 312. Cross runway 1634, Hotel 1, link 4, apron 4 to 312, Shamrock 15 November.
Another military apron up there. I guess the Swedish Air Force run out of here.
Kilo Juliet, I have traffic spark behind you, I'll call you back. Roger, fine, on Kilo Juliet.
Ground, good morning, Ryanair 452, uniform stand 53, request taxi.
Good day, Ryanair 452, uniform taxi holding
Alright.
point runway 24, via taxi hotel and Alpha.
Taxiway, hotel and Alpha to runway 24, we can take it to section Bravo as well, Ryanair 452.
So parking brake is set. Flight instruments have been checked.
Hotel Bravo,
Engine
holding
instruments
point runway
checked.
24,
Engine's
452,
looking
uniform.
good. Takeoff data is set and ready. Nav equipment is set. Landing lights. There he is. Landing lights, come on.
Ready for push start.
Generic Airlines.
Good day again.
Taxi light goes to takeoff. Strobe lights, come on. Torpedo heat is good. De-ice not required. Transponder. Go to TARA. PWS will come on, and radar goes to number 1. So we will line up and wait.
United 53, we're all set.
And by the time we get out ready to go, he should be clear of
That's correct,
the
United 53.
active
Okay,
runway.
then taxi ahead on Bravo onto Echo.
Still got the
and on
cabin
Echo
no
hold
check,
short of
but
runway 28.
nothing we can do about that.
Bravo, Echo, and short of 28 at Echo, United 53. Apron Mellow Line, 310 Mike, Hotel 1.
I-10 Mike Apron, taxi via taxi with Juliet, hold short runway 28.
Thank you, Juliet, hold short, runway
So
28.
lined up. Not sure where he's gone, but he is no longer on the runway. So we are good
Shamrock
to go.
105, Monmouth Tower 118.6.
10186,
So nose down.
Ryanair 5,
Engine's up to
Hotel Victor,
40%.
taxi Hotel 1, left turn, enter runway 16, hold short runway 28.
Stabilize.
Sure, 28. Right,
Alright, brakes off.
Shamrock
Thrust
15
to
November,
flex.
Amateur taxi Hotel 2, hold short runway 34. Okay, Hotel 2, hold short
SRS runway enabled. 80 knots.
Shamrock 15 November, continue taxi, cross runway
100
24,
knots.
Hotel 1,
Back under
link
pressure.
4, apron 4, stand 312. Cross runway 1634, Hotel 1, link 4, apron 4,
V1,
312, Shamrock
rotate.
15.
Rotating up to 17 degrees, positive rate. Gear coming up.
Behind you, I'll call you back. Roger, fine, on Kilo Juliet.
Ground, good morning, Ryanair 452, uniform stand 53, request taxi.
Good
So heavy rains in front of us.
Uniform taxi holding point runway 24 by X-Space Hotel and Alpha.
Taxiway, hotel and Alpha to runway 24. We can take section Bravo as well. Ryanair 452 uniform.
Climb speed, autopilot coming on.
Hotel Bravo,
Head back over, get on course.
452 uniform.
Rock Safari 180 cubic airborne, stand 105 with information ready for push and start.
Qatari 18, Quebec Romeo, good day again. Pushback startup is approved 08 left, QNH is
Flaps are up.
1033, time check 06.
Roger, push and start up move, follow bridge 0 left on QNH 1033, time check. Safari 1, 8 cubic Romeo.
All right. Airspeed's coming up. We're in our climb.
United 53, we're all set.
To confirm you're ready for taxi for the gate?
Pretty aggressive climb, but we're up through the clouds.
Okay, then taxi ahead on Bravo onto Echo, and on Echo hold short of runway 28.
Bravo, Echo, and short of 28 at Echo, United 53.
Yeah, they got a lot of fine tuning to do with this thing. That climb rate was excessively steep.
Apron Mellow Line, 1 Mike, Hotel 1.
Is there 10 Mike apron?
Spoilers
Right,
disarmed.
Juliet, hold short runway 28.
Thank you, Juliet, hold short, runway 28.
Business at 552, connect tower 181.
Now turning onto course.
Shamrock 105, Monitor Tower 118.6.
Monitor 118.6, Shamrock 105.
Forgot the chrono, but that's okay. We're
Ryanair
going
5,
to run.
Hotel Victor, taxi Hotel 1, left turn, enter runway 16, hold
It's
short runway
9,000 feet.
Hotel 1, F16, short 28.
Shamrock 15, November, limit your taxi Hotel 2, hold short runway 34. Okay, Hotel 2, Hotel runway 34, Shamrock 15, November.
That's 10,000. Landing lights will come off. Nose light will come
Shamrock
off.
15,
Other
November,
lights
continue
will
taxi,
stay
cross
on.
runway 34, Hotel 1.
Crew can
link
start
4,
doing their
apron
service
4,
in the
3,
back.
1, 2. Cross runway 1634, Hotel 1, link 4, apron 4 to 3, 1.
And that is
Shamrock,
us.
Grand 15,
Once again, going into acceleration mode. I gotta fix these pitch changes.
Juliet, I have traffic parked behind you.
Way too abrupt.
Roger, flying on Kilo Jet.
Ground, good morning, Ryanair 452 uniform, stand 53, request taxi.
Good day, Ryanair 452 uniform taxi holding point runway 24 by X-Space Hotel and
Just for
Alpha.
a second.
Taxiway, hotel and Alpha to runway 24. We can take it to section
For
Bravo as
some
well. Ryanair
reason, the
452 uniform.
overall
Roger, so Hotel Bravo
sound
holding point
is
24.
cranked.
Hotel Bravo, thanks for holding for runway 24, 452 uniform.
A little bit more.
Rock Safari
Very, very loud.
stand 105 with information ready for push and start.
Qatari 18, Quebec Romeo, good day again. Pushback startup is approved 08 left, QNH is 1033.
Oh, we're up above the clouds.
Push and start up move, follow bridge 0 left on QNH.
Climbing through 13,000.
Safari 1.
Looks like we got some clear sky up here.
United 53, we're all set.
To confirm you're ready for taxi for the gate?
That's correct, United 53.
Okay, then taxi ahead on Bravo onto Echo, and on Echo hold short of runway 28.
Bravo, Echo, and short of 28 at Echo, United.
Looking a little choppy on the screen. Let me try something here for a second.
Sorry, 096 Roger, line up and wait on runway 28.
See if that makes it any better. Yeah, it looks better.
Hello again, Airlines 201.
Airlines 201, Tower 1, taxi Juliet Cross, runway 28, contact April 121.755 and cross.
121.755 when it's cross, and cross to 800.
18,000 feet, we'll go to standard pressure.
Orange 9777, Zurich Tower, hello, line up and wait, runway 28, report fully ready.
And everything is looking good. So you can see where we are currely, just passing south of Oslo. We're heading out over the islands in the water here, and then we'll be turning southwest, following the route down out over the North Sea. Yeah, sometimes it gets choppy and stuff. I'm still fine-tuning my streaming settings. Alright, so let's crank. And as you see some weather over here. See the clouds. Again, this is live weather. It's not live time. It's currently dark over there now, so I've set it as morning flight, but this is the weather they're having right now. So I have set this up as a bit of a morning flight.
The 310 is about to vacate. The wind 040 degrees 6 knots, runway 14, clear to land.
Good, land 14, please.
Qatar 096, you're fully ready now.
Qatar 096, roger, line up and wait on runway 28.
Celebration 3 Qatar 09.
So, hello again, Airlines 201.
Airlines 201, Tower 1, taxi Juliet Cross, runway 28.
And as I said before, hopefully one day we'll be doing these flights for real again.
11055 when it's rough, and cross to 800, turn in ahead of 201.
Getting a nice view like this.
Orange 9777, Zurich Tower, hello, line up and wait, runway 28, report fully ready.
See a nice wing flex there.
Tower, good morning, all 30 Kilo approaching to 800 Juliet.
30 Kilo Tower, taxi Juliet Cross, runway 28, contact April 121.
Alright, so everything is working well. We are monitoring. And you can see this is where we make the turn down to the southwest out over the North Sea. So we'll be over some weather, which for the fall over that area of the world is not uncommon.
KLM 677, are you ready now?
KLM 677, we are ready.
Roger.
And we're about 3,000 feet or so to go to our cruising altitude.
Wings 9777, wind 050 degrees 7 knots, runway 28, clear takeoff.
Clear takeoff runway 28, clear the wind 97.
Sweet 30 kilo, Airbus 310 is about to vacate, the wind 040 degrees 6 knots, runway 14, clear the land.
Good, 914, please.
See here, they're showing the cabin altitude.
096, Roger, line up
Currently
and wait
40,
on
almost
runway
4,500 foot elevation altitude in the cabin. So picture yourself up on a 4,500 foot mountain, and that's what it's like right now.
So hello again, Airlines 201.
Airlines 201, Tower 1, taxi Julia Cross,
There's
runway
your
28, contact from 121.
outside air temperatures.
11055, when it's Ross, and cross to Nvidia, turn in ahead of 201.
Rings 9777, Zurich Tower, hello, line up and wait runway 28, report fully ready.
Wait runway 28, call you.
So in a minute, once we level off at 3,200, I'll crank the speed up to probably Mach 0.81, and that'll there we're starting to slow as we level, but that'll give us a good cruise speed. The red bar here is our max, so we'll sit just below it, just above 300 knots. So if we look down, you can see the alt has the star beside it, which means it's an altitude capture mode, and it's going to capture that 3,200 or 32,000 feet. So in a second, it'll be captured and we'll be good. So I'm going to go in and tell it to go to we'll go up to 8.2. Should be fine. 8.2, 8.1. There you go, altitude cruise.
Wings 9777, wind 050 degrees 7 knots, runway 28, clear takeoff.
Clear takeoff runway 28, clear the wind 97.
Sweet 30 kilo, Airbus 310 is about to vacate, the wind 040 degrees 6 knots, runway 14, clear the land.
And it looks like they've separated the gauges. Oh, this is really cool. So you can have different settings for each.
On runway 28.
Each person. That is really good. I'm glad they did that. Because on landing, when I switch over to landing systems, this one can stay on the nav side of it. Very nice. Again, this is all part of the A320nx mods that the volunteers are doing to try to make this aircraft more functional. Tilt is still an op.
Rings 9777, Zurich Tower, hello, line up and wait runway 28, report fully ready.
And everything else is working very well. Again, this is the old SAS livery. Part of the livery mega pack.
Gallop 677, are you ready now?
Now we just get to sit back and enjoy the flight.
Eurowings 9777, wind 050 degrees 7 knots, runway 28, clear takeoff.
There, take a runway 28 here.
So I'll leave you with a view for a few minutes, and I will be back.
The wind 040 degrees 6 knots, runway 14, clear to land.
Land 14,
Sorry, 096, get off your ready now.
Sorry, 096, roger, line up and wait on runway 28.
Line up, ready, sorry, 09.
So hello again, Airlines 201.
Airlines 201, Tower, taxi Julie Cross, runway 28, contact April 121.755 and cross.
121.755, when it's cross, and cross to Nvidia, turn in Airlines 201.
Orange 9777, Zurich Tower, hello, line up and wait, runway 28, report fully ready.
Now we got wait on the 28, call you 28.
Tower, good morning, all, Swiss 30 Kilo approaching to Airlines Juliet.
330 Tower, taxi Julie Cross, runway 28, contact April 121.755.
100 because to April 121.755, and now we 30 Kilo.
KLM 677, are you ready now?
KLM 677, we are ready.
Roger.
So of course, one of the things that the crew is doing up front during all of this, the first officer would be doing all the checking on the fuel burn. So the flight plan shows how much fuel they should be burning as the flight progresses, and between each of the waypoints that are listed, it should tell them how much fuel they should burn and how much they should have left at that point. So they are always checking against, as you can see here, it says how much fuel is currently on board, and that number is going down as we fly, so they're checking to make sure that what they are burning is within estimates for the flight, because they only take enough to do the flight and a little bit extra for emergencies, because it costs money to tank or fuel around, which they don't want to be doing.
So hello again, Airlines 201.
Airlines 201, Tower, taxi Julie Cross, runway 28, contact April 121.755 and cross.
121.755, when it's cross, and cross to Nvidia, turn in Airlines 201.
But we're at altitude, things are progressing well, we're at cruise speed.
Orange 9777, Zurich Tower, hello, line up and wait, runway 28, report fully ready.
We're currently flying down the coast of Sweden, just off to our right. You can't see it, we're in like 100% cloud cover right now.
Tower, good morning, all, Swiss 30 Kilo approaching to Airlines Juliet.
330 Tower, taxi Julie Cross, runway 28, contact April 121.755.
100 because to April 121.755, and now we 30 Kilo.
So watching what's happening with increased lockdowns again and all this virus stuff, I'm thinking if that happens, I may do a little bit more streaming during the week.
KLM 677, are you ready now?
KLM 677, we are ready.
Roger.
Something to occupy the time. We'll see. It's very flexible. So just to give a tour of the cockpit, in case you haven't seen one of these before. Over on this side, you've got the main flight displays. Data display, this is your primary instruments. Airspeed, altitude. This is your, shows if you're climbing, diving, bank left or right. Shows your heading down here. And this is, these are indicating the modes that the autopilot's in. So it's currently saying it's in Mach speed hold, which is set here. Altitude cruise, which we've set here, and we're in that stage of flight. And then nav mode, it's following the flight plan. I've set the speed, I've set the altitude, but the flight computer down here is telling it to follow this route. Hey Paul, yeah, we just took off from Norway. We're flying from Oslo down to London, so we're not that far into it. We're only about 26 minutes into it, although you missed a, and I'll say this in air quotes, exciting start to the flight, where it seems that the Oslo airport in Microsoft is not fully modeled with all the taxiways. So getting around a little bit different. But we got off the ground and we're heading down to London today. Hope you're doing well. So carrying on the tour, this is the autopilot section up here. As I said, this is your speed, your heading, your altitude, and your different modes. And these control your display screens. So there's your flight plan mode, your arc mode, and then you've got a nav mode here, a VOR mode if we were tracking VORs, which we're not, and then there's the landing system mode, which you'll see as we pull into Heathrow. These are your data displays, system information. Not all of them are modeled, but we have engine mode, so we can, it's a lot of this plus a couple other points, but showing everything on the engines. These are your engine bleeds, so it's showing us the bleed air coming off the engines, which is powering the air conditioning and heaters inside the airplane. Yeah, I didn't realize it until I started taxiing, and I'm like, why are these taxiways not here? They've cut the airport in half. So depending on what side of the terminal you start on, you can only go to that runway, the north-south runway. It's crazy. Hydraulic pressure, they haven't modeled yet. The electrics, they haven't modeled yet. The fuel is modeled. Show the 5 fuel tanks and what's in them and how the fuel is flowing. APU we saw when we started up the aircraft.
Hello again, Airlines 201.
Config's not there. Doors we saw. Wheels. Shows wheels up, wheels down, plus the temperatures. Flight controls, which we did at the beginning. And then there's a couple other things like status, if there's error messages and stuff like that. And in cruise, the default page is the cruise information. Shows a brief bit on the engines, the cabin, what the temperature is in the cabin, and pressure, the cabin altitude pressure, and a little bit on the outside air temperature, what time it is. You can see it's 10:06, and our gross weight, which is subtracted from the fuel because these airplanes have a maximum gross weight they can land at, which is usually less than their takeoff weight, which means they can take off heavier than they can land. So if you've ever been to or heard of an airplane that's had to go out and dump fuel, that's why. They're over their landing weight. Over here you've got your gear indicators for when they're down in green. This is your auto brake, nose wheel steering, clock, your gear lever, hydraulic pressure. These two things here are what you communicate with the company so they can send messages to you. Duplicate information over here for the pilot, same thing, and then light controls. On the panel, or the pedestal, these are your two flight computers. Obviously, well, normally they'd be separate, so this one could be on cruise. This one you could maybe put it onto the legs or the flight plan like that. So he could be following this, showing you the next leg, and over here it'd be on the performance side. They haven't separated that yet. Radios. These are your active and standbys. This is all for your communications and your radio navigation. You can see all the buttons and dials and stuff that go with that. Same on both sides. Floodlight panels for like the pedestal and the main panel. Transponder for sending out our aircraft code. Radar unit. And then these are your engine starts, spoilers, flaps, trims, cockpit door lock, parking brake, stuff like that. There's your side stick joystick to fly the airplane if you're manually flying. And that's the layout of the aircraft in the cockpit. Up above, well, if we look behind, a lot of circuit breakers and circuit breakers up top. You got things like your fire suppression system, hydraulics, fuel switches, electrics, air conditioning, anti-ice, which we don't have on right now. And then down here we have our lights and some other miscellaneous switches, wipers, and then up this side you got flight controls. You can turn on and off emergency power. This is the GPWS system, oxygen system, the call buttons for the back, and our nav alignment and stuff. So that is the Airbus. So in a little while, I will have enough time with my virtual airline that I'll be able to start flying some of the bigger stuff. So mid-November-ish, I'm estimating, I'll be able to switch over to the 787 and the 747. So some longer flights coming up. Should be interesting.
KLM 677, are you ready now?
KLM 677, we are ready.
Let's get another nice view out here. There we go. Get some high-level cloud coming in. Nice wispy cirrus type of stuff. Still overcast down over the North Sea.
Kilo Airbus 310 is about to vacate. The wind 040 degrees 6 knots, runway 14 equivalent.
Line 14,
Atari 096, roger, line up and wait on runway 28.
So Denmark is off this way, and we're leaving the coast of Sweden behind over our right shoulder.
Flight 201, Taiwan, taxiway Julia, cross runway 28, contact April 121.755 and cross.
121.755, when it's cross, and cross to Sweden Julia, turn in ahead of 201.
Orange 9777, Zurich Tower, hello, line up and wait, runway 28, report fully ready.
wait, let me call you.
So the weather's not looking too bad. As I mentioned at the start, I'm using the in-game weather, live weather. One of the updates on this patch was the fixing of the METAR injection into the sim and how that's handled. So hopefully the weather's good. I noticed with Rex, I've noticed it a few times now, the weather is not visually, the visuals look good, but it would appear that the winds are not being properly entered in. I've looked at the program display for the weather force, and it would show winds say 090 at 12, and yet at the airport that this report is coming from, in the sim it's showing something else. It's caused a couple problems with coming into land, and aircraft are coming in the other way because the game is seeing something different. It's supposed to be injected. I'm gonna have to look and see if there's been another update to it. It's not something I've done yet. But the weather so far in here looks good. I'm hoping they have fixed the thunder and lightning on clear days. One other thing I did download is the SoFly weather presets. As I said, they've gone through and they've changed the weather, and they've gone where they can go through past what you can do in the presets, and created some interesting scenarios. So I'm going to play with those a bit too, and there may be times I use those as presets. Sometimes I just got to do the flight, and if the live weather is just too horrendous, like I'm doing the around the world flight in the Mooney, and I'm up in the Arctic right now, and if the weather there is too bad, I gotta get the flight in, so we'll may use the preset. We're heading for Heathrow today, Paul. I don't think they fly the 320 into London City. I think that's mainly maybe the 19 or the 18. They might even have been flying the 318 in there. I don't think the airport's big enough, and I don't think the aircraft is certified for the 5-degree glide slope. So there's a few airplanes that are supposed to be coming out soon, which will give a little bit more variety. One of them is the, and it's quite a way along, so I'm hoping it'll be out end of the year in January. It's the Aerosoft are creating a brand new CRJ series, the 557-9, and I think that is 1,000 model. But that'll give us a smaller airplane for some smaller airports, which could be interesting. And then they're also working on bringing in their Airbus fleet, which I used to fly a lot with FSX. So that'll be good. Aerosoft is also bringing in a Twin Otter. So our Highland Connect, which is our Scottish subsidiary, flies the Twin Otter up in Scotland. So I'm looking at doing some flying up there in small airports. There's a really bad weather off to our right, so we're going to be skirting around the edge of it. And then Majestic have said they want to bring the Q400 in, but there's still some issues with the base game on how it does things, so they're not sure if they're going to be able to get it in. And then PMPG have said they're bringing over their 5.7 and 3.7, so that'll be good. More aircraft the merrier. We want to get as much as we can for variety. But we always got to watch when they do these updates because it tends to break things, and this one did again.
9777 Zurich Tower, hello, line up and wait runway 28, we
So
fully ready.
the A320nx wasn't working, so I had to download the development version, which they did a quick fix on early this morning. Deliveries weren't working, so I had to uninstall them and then go back in, and I installed the SAS one just so I could use it for this flight. I'll have to take them all out again and reinstall them. So there's been a few issues, but hopefully they fix some of the other stuff that's going on. They've got some more serious problems with loading and stuff like that. So as long as they're getting those things fixed, it's all good. Just keeping an eye on the two PFDs, or the MFDs, and watching the weather. We're going to be going through it all right. So we're just going to cut the edge of the bad storms.
Germany 9777, wind 050 degrees 7 knots, runway 28, clear takeoff.
There, take off runway 28,
Sweet 30 kilo, Apple 310 is about to vacate, the wind 040 degrees 6 knots, runway 14, clear to land.
Yeah, pretty dark down below us.
Charlie 096, roger, line up and wait on runway 28.
Hello again, Airlines 201.
Airlines 201, Tower 1, taxi Julia Cross, runway 28, contact April 1.
It's starting to rock a little bit. I think we're hitting some turbulence as we get into the tops of these clouds.
Cross to Nvidia, turn in ahead of 201.
Orange 9777 Zurich Tower, hello, line up and wait runway 28.
I think for the safety of everybody, it's that time. Everyone's going to have to have a seat. I'm going to catch some of the really bad stuff in there.
Tower, good morning, all 30 kilo approaching to Juliet.
30 kilo Tower, taxi Julia Cross, runway 28, contact April 1 to 1, decimal 755.
On to the because to April 755, the Nami 30 kilo.
I guess we could try to be realistic and divert around it. Fly down the edge. Cut back over. Problem with that idea is I don't trust the game enough to let us get back onto the proper course. Well, we seem to be at the top of it, so maybe it's all below us.
Germany 9777, wind 050 degrees 7 knots, runway 28, clear takeoff.
There, take off runway 28,
Sweet 30 kilo, Apple 310 is about to vacate, the wind 040 degrees 6 knots, runway 14, clear to land.
Good, 914,
Car 096, go, ready now.
Charlie 096, roger, line up and wait on runway 28.
Car 09.
So hello again, Airlines 201.
Flight 201, Tower, taxi Juliet, cross runway 28, contact gate from 121.755 and cross.
11755, awareness cross, and cross to 8 and Juliet, turn 8 ahead of 201.
I do enjoy skimming the clouds, though. If you get a good cloud layer right below you, it really gives you that sense of speed that you don't get usually up high.
Fully ready.
Wait, let me call you.
Looks like they didn't clean the windows very good either.
Tower, good morning, all 30 Kilo approaching Joystick and Juliet.
30 Kilo Tower, taxi Juliet, cross runway 28, contact gate from 121.755.
Onto the center, goes away, they from the 7 and 5, and only 30 Kilo.
There we go. So we got a bit of a headwind. Winds are out of the south. Well, they were on takeoff too, so they haven't really moved around as we've climbed up. 192 at 47, giving us a ground speed of only 429. So our flight's going to go a little bit longer than scheduled. That's alright.
Wings 9 777, wind 050 degrees 7 knots, runway 28, clear takeoff.
Yeah, take a runway 28 here.
View at the front as the clouds are coming up.
Sweet 30 Kilo, Airbus 310 is about to vacate. The wind 040 degrees 6 knots, runway 14, clear to land.
Good, land 146.
Just leave that view for a minute.
096, you're ready now.
Total 096, roger, line up and wait on runway 28.
Line up ready, 309.
So hello again, Airlines 201.
Flight 201, Tower, taxi Juliet, cross runway 28, contact gate from 121.755 and cross.
11755, awareness cross, and cross to 8 and Juliet, turn 8 ahead of 201.
Orange 9777, Zurich Tower, hello, line up and wait runway 28, report fully ready.
Wait, let me call you.
Tower, good morning, all 30 Kilo approaching Joystick and Juliet.
30 Kilo Tower, taxi Juliet, cross runway 28, contact gate from 121.755.
Onto the center, goes away, they from the 7 and 5, and only 30 Kilo.
KLM 677, are you ready now?
KLM 677, we are ready.
Roger.
So where are we now on the map? We are right here.
6901 out of 2,000 feet, 71 channel departure.
So we're basically off the coast of Denmark, down over the North Sea.
Flight 2 level 130 to Savage 690.
And we're doing that diagonal down towards England. So we're going to keep flying down along the line here. We'll make the turn. When we make this turn in, that brings us onto the Logan approach, or the Logan arrival. I always get approach and arrival mixed up. But we're going to follow Logan in. And then here at Lamb, we pick up we do this weird kind of S turn, and we'll come down and pick up the ILS for the runway. So we're going to do a kind of S around here, like that. So that's where we are currently at the moment. We're almost halfway. So there's the entire route that we're flying.
Vanaf 15 Mike, onderkant 23.850.
2385, vanaf 15 Mike, dankjewel, tot ziens.
Hoi.
So right now in the back, everyone should be eating their day-old cellophane wrap sandwiches and buying expensive beverages. Maybe watching the reruns of season 1 of The Big Bang Theory on the in-flight entertainment. Whatever's in these aircraft, I don't know what SAS have. And we don't really have any altitude restrictions until we get to there's really none. There's a couple holds that have restrictions on them, but we just got to make sure that we're coming out. I guess ATC will be yeah, ATC directed on the chart itself would be it says pilots should plan for possible descent clearance as follows: 25 flight level 250 at Logan. Flight level 160 at Sabre. Okay, so we've got some targets we can work with. So that's pretty good. Well, Vikings would be very appropriate on SAS, but it's a rather a gruesome series to be running on an airline. Did love that series though. It was really good up until, I mean, they should have ended it when Ragnar was killed. Kind of lost its focus after that. I think he was really the star of that series. But yeah, I love that. What was it, the first 5 seasons? Were really, really cool. Really love that show. Well, it looks like about 80 miles out, or 70 miles or so out, we cross over the top of this storm front, and we come down on some clearer weather. Well, maybe not clearer, but at least less precipitation in it. So it's a little bit more comfortable in the back than it was in the 172 last week. Shorter flight too.
2385, vanaf 15 Mike, dankjewel, tot ziens.
Hoi.
See, the weather's not bad, so let the people move around again. Don't want to keep them cooped up in the seats too long.
KLM 97 Quebec, 2200 on optic departure.
Staff, KLM 97 Quebec, climb level 130.
Climb level 130 to 97 Quebec.
So unfortunately I couldn't plan this as a virtual airline flight because we shift over to the winter schedule as of tomorrow, and it's not letting me, there's a conflict in the schedule today the way it was done, and it's, I couldn't book it in, so this is kind of just a free flight. But the winter schedule kicks off tomorrow, so some changes to who goes where and what goes where.
Departure Bureau Tanzania, Air Bravo is passing 2,200 feet on the California departure.
We're about an hour into the flight. Still dealing with that headwind. It's built up to 55 knots now, so our ground speed's dropped a couple more. We've got the fuel though. That's not a concern. I always overplan slightly, just to be on the safe side.
6901 out of 2,000 feet, 21 channel departure.
Vorige Transat 6901, climb level 130.
Climb to level 130 to South.
So after doing some thinking about the type of aircraft I'm flying and going to be flying, and GA and commercial and airliners, I've pulled the trigger, and I've got an order in for a honeycomb yoke, and the alpha yoke and the honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant. Unfortunately, the release of Flight Sim has just killed the market for flight control stuff. It's almost impossible to get the really good stuff. So many people have bought it up. The yoke may be available in a month or so. Off a back order. The quadrant they're not expecting until, although it was just released on the 20th, they're not expecting to have more in stock or available for me, I guess, where I am on the pre-order list, until probably the end of January. We'll have to see how that goes. But I'll check with them in December and see where it all sits. But that'll give me the yoke and the throttle quadrant. And the throttle quadrant, it's set up for Boeing style stuff, but you can get, and I've ordered that as well, a set of handles, levers that will switch from Boeing style to Airbus style. And you can run everything from single engine propeller with no constant speed prop all the way up to 747 multi-engine jets. Just by switching the levers in and out. So I'm hoping it's as simple as just setting a profile for the quadrant, and you just load up single engine constant speed, twin engine prop, twin turbo, whatever it is, twin jet, and it all works. That's the plan anyway. Looks like we're moving around the edge of that storm over there. More over that way. So for now, I'll just be sticking with my Logitech 3D Pro. This is a little bit dated now and aging.
Departure Bureau Tanzania, Air Bravo is passing 2,200 feet on the California departure. Number 130, Tanzania, Air Bravo.
So you can see, if we look at the displays, if you haven't seen it up close, ground speed is our speed over the ground, and true airspeed is our airspeed through the air, and the reason they're different is because of this. So this is our headwind. Headwind's coming at 193, so it's coming kind of in this direction, slightly off to our left, at 59 knots. And the reason why this and this is not 59 different is because if it was directly ahead, yeah, it would be. But the more it moves to the side is the less of a slowdown effect it'll have and the more of a push effect it'll have. So you can see the yellow bar here is the way we're pointed. So we're pointed about, what's that, 206 degrees. But our course is about 208, 209, 209. So we're having to fly slightly to the left in order to counteract this little bit of wind, which is pushing us slightly to the right. And the more that would be pushing sideways, the more we would have to fly off. And that's why sometimes you see airplanes landing at airports where they're kind of, that's called crabbing. They're turned sideways as they're coming in. They're doing the same thing. They're compensating for the wind direction to make sure their path over the ground is a certain way. And that's the same thing we're doing up here. In order to stay on this course, we have to fly cocked slightly to the left. And instead of ending up flying out this way, the wind keeps pushing us back onto that line. We're almost over through the weather. And you can see here's our waypoints as we're flying in, and then it shows you the heading, the distance to the waypoint, and the time you should get there. So this is 10:41, and if we look at the clock, it currently says 10:39. So in 2 minutes, we will be there. So you can kind of ballpark speed and distances in your head if you've got the math down. Yeah, Paul, have you guys had the same issue with everything being sold out over there? You can't get the new Thrustmaster TCAs. The old Thrustmaster 1600s are hard to find. It's crazy. And it figures when I finally decide, yeah, I'm going to invest, because they're not cheap, I'm going to invest in them. It's like, well, you're going to have to wait 4 months, 5 months. So we'll see. They had one, well, they had the yoke set up anyway, so I was playing with that. It's got a good feel to it. So it should make the flying good. So we're about, what is it, 67, so at about 72 minutes in the air now. Flight's going well.
Flight 2 level 130 to Savage 690.
So we should be crossing the English coast. Near Tillingham. Just north of the river Crouch. And we'll pass south of Chelmsford. come over London, and we should actually be making a nice big swooping turn right over the heart of London, Westminster, Hammersmith, and all that, just to the west of the city of London. So, could be an interesting approach.
Vanaf 15 Mike, contact 123.850.
Everything's doing very well.
Hoi.
Got some nice cloud effects. You can see the main cloud deck down there, and there's this thin wispy stuff we're going through. High cirrus clouds.
Italia 75 Charlie Airborne.
Italia 75 Charlie 110, climb level 130.
Climbing 130, Italia 75 Charlie.
Departure good out Savia, Air Bravo is passing 2,200 feet on the good at 1 next departure.
Savia, Air Bravo, climb level 130.
Hello, 130, Savia, Air Bravo.
Amsterdam, goedemorgen, Kennel 47 Bravo, passing flight level 9er 0, climbing level 130.
Kennel 47 Bravo, low, climb flight level 210.
Climb flight level 210, Kennel 47 Bravo.
Departure good morning, Savia 6901 out of 2,000 feet, 21 channel departure.
Vorige Transat 6901, climb level 130.
Climb to level 130 to Savia 690.
Alright, so we're getting closer. You can see we're almost ready to start coming down into the I guess this is still part of the English Channel. Maybe that's the end of it there. Not exactly sure. But we're getting close, and looks like the cloud is starting to break up, so that would be over in this direction. So hopefully we'll get some nice views down into England as we come in. We will see.
Transat 15 Mike, contact 123.850.
2385, Transat 15 Mike, dankjewel, tot ziens.
Hoi.
Remember when I was talking about cabin altitude when we were climbing out, you can see our cruising cabin altitude is 8,100 feet, so you're up pretty high. I always find that makes me a little bit tired. When we get down.
Staff, good night, Quebec, climb level 130.
Climb level 130,
No, we still got a little bit to go for the descent. I've got to be at, I think it was 20, where is it? 25,000 by Logan. And you can see Logan's just come on to the MFD here. And it's about 130 miles away. So I'll probably start descending the Logan at about 60 miles. Because I've only got to go down to 25,000. And then 16,000 at Sabre, which is 2 more down the line. So we got a little bit to go. We got what, about 80. What, 15 minutes or so? Ballpark in it. I mean, if the system was working correctly, we would actually be able to go in and look it up. I'm not sure if these are distances. They could be. Yeah, they could be. So Lardy is was 67 miles from Taipan. Binbo is 14 miles. Akoko is, yeah, that looks like distances. So this says we should be at Logan. Oh, okay, it might be here sooner than I thought. This says we should be at Logan at 10:56. It's 10:48 now, so it says 7-8 minutes we'll be there. So I'm assuming the descent will be in a few minutes then, if this is accurate.
Departure passing 2,300, climb level 60.
So I'll probably start the descent when Logan gets down to about 80 miles. I tried doing a managed descent the other day and still not working right. Very annoying. Alright, so I'm gonna go and take a look at the weather in London.
KLM 2,200 on Arctic
Alright, London Heathrow weather. Winds are 12 knots from the west-southwest, temperature 11 degrees. Pressure is 1010. Few clouds at 4,300. So it looks like the weather's going to clear up over England. That's very nice. So 25 will be our first step down. So we'll dial that in.
Departure good out to Savia, 8 Bravo is passing 2,200 feet on the Kilotone departure. Savia 8 Bravo, transfer level 130. Level 130, Savia 8 Bravo.
We'll probably go down at about 1,500 feet per minute and then adjust from there. As we get closer.
Level 7 Bravo, level 210.
Level 210, Kilom 47 Tower. Departure good morning to Savia 6901 out of 2,000 feet. Friendly 1 channel departure.
It does look like it's starting to clear. Very few clouds out that way,
Climb to level
which
130.
is where we're headed.
Departure very well. Tasavia 15 Mike.
Well,
when I got departure passing 2300, climb level 60.
it's looking like it wants me to descend, which I don't want to do.
Tasavia 15 Mike, climb level 130.
Climbing level 130.
So get back up, mister. See, this is the problem with this. I'm not sure why it's doing things it's doing.
Tasavia 15 Mike, contact 123.850.
2385. Tasavia 15 Mike, dankjewel, tot ziens.
Hoi.
Toby eye tracker, is that like track IR? And yeah, some of these workarounds are a bit of a pain. Wonder why she was starting to slow down on me there.
Climb level 1,
Just reading stuff in the FMS, which I really don't want it doing. Yeah, I find they're handy in small GA airplanes, especially when you're doing hand approaches or manual approaches into airports. Not so much the airliners. You just kind of, your head just keeps bopping around, but there's a lot of fun in the smaller stuff. Especially when you're trying to fly in that and you don't want to look down to move the mouse or something like that. Oh, you can see Heathrow coming in on the... Set you over to 20. There we are, we're back in cruise where we should be. And another aircraft flying by.
Out of 2,000 feet, friendly 1 channel departure.
Looking at the development update and kind of working on the amount of live traffic is still a work in progress. They haven't even looked at it yet. But it is noted on their list of things people have mentioned. There's not enough live aircraft out here. All right. So we're kind of abeam the north end of the Netherlands. And I guess if you went far enough due west, you'd hit Nottingham. So we're getting there. Oh, I can see the coast of England right there.
Departure very well.
Out the window.
15 Mike. When I got departure passing 2300, climb level 60.
Tasavia 15 Mike, climb level 130.
It's coming in.
Climbing level 130. Tasavia 15 Mike.
Yeah, so about 60 miles we'll start our descent. And should be good.
South 15 Mike, contact 123.850.
Oh, you can actually see the North Sea down there now.
Hoi.
Quebec 2200 on landing approach.
See the winds come around, or we've moved and the winds move, so it's now pushing us from the other side. So now we're having to fly. Instead of flying to this point, we're flying to this point. Again, we're fighting the winds here. What's in the winds are predominantly westward in the northern hemisphere. It's something we gotta deal with every time we fly west.
Ontario, CFA 31 climb level 130.
Landing 130, Ontario 75 Charlie.
We're under 80 miles there. So in about 60, we'll start our descent down to 25,000. And we want 25,000 at Logan and 16,000 at Sabre.
Goedemorgen, Kennel 47 Bravo, passing flight level 9ers in and climbing level 130.
Kennel 47 Bravo, level flight level 210.
Somewhere around there.
Climb flight level 210, Kennel 47 Bravo.
Goedemorgen, Wasabi 690,
Again,
2,000 feet, 21 departure.
The arrival says that it would be ATC directed, so they could give you something else, but it says to expect those altitudes. It's an hour and 15 minutes into the flight. We should be on the ground about 20 minutes, I would say. Let's try this again, and hopefully it doesn't decide it's gonna do something all on its own. It's 25,000. We'll bring the speed back to 0.80.
Departure very well. Wasabi 15 Mike.
And then we'll monitor for our overspeed.
South 15 Mike,
Alright, so there's 6.
Climbing level 130, Wasabi 15 Mike.
I'm not sure what that is, but I think that is the new weather loading in.
South 15 Mike, contact 123.850.
Take you back to 2.
2385, Wasabi 15 Mike, dankjewel, tot ziens.
Hoi.
Alright, calm down. This is a little bit weird. There we go. Are we calm? Okay, now.
KLM Nice Quebec 2200 on landing approach.
South, Nice Quebec, climb level 130.
Climb level 130,
No, I don't want an open descent. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but it went a little bit buggy. But we're tracking again. Set to shut the autopilot off and turn it back on again.
Landing 130, Ontario 75 Charlie.
Alright, we're gonna take her down to 1,000 foot. Well, I'm gonna go 5,000 feet. So we might as well set up our approach while we're here. So we'll go over here to approach mode. And I will pull up. So 1010. There's our Q. Go away. There's our QNH. Current temperature London Heathrow is 11 degrees. Winds are currently 250 at 12. Transition altitude of 5,000 feet. And our decision height for the runway is 178 feet. So 178 goes into decision height. So our approach speed for today is 127. All right. 40 miles, get down to 25, should be good. And there's Sabre, we got to be down 16 by there, so a little bit steeper descent as we head in. And the intercept altitude for the ILS is 2,500 feet.
Departure very well. So Sofia 15 Mike. Good when I got departure passing 2,300, climb level 60.
Good. Keep you at 80. We're just going to watch it
level 130.
as we sink into the denser atmosphere.
Sasha 15 Mike, contact down 23.850.
2385. Sasha 15 Mike, dankjewel, tot ziens.
Hoi.
That looks very nice over England. Just a few clouds. That storm probably went through here the day before.
KLM 9 Quebec, 2,200 on arm,
Staff, KLM 9 Quebec, climb level 130.
Climb level 130 to 9 Quebec.
A little bit of stuff out there, not much. Just scatter back. Okay, we're on weather.
Italia, 75 Charlie Airborne.
Italia, 75 Charlie 109, climb level 130.
Landing 130, Italia, 75 Charlie.
So according to company policy, below 24,000 it's Mach 0.76. So as we start our descent out of 25, we'll go down to 0.76. And then at 18, it's 6.67. So again, we'll keep an eye on that.
Goedemorgen, Scanner 47 Bravo, passing flight level 9er, climb level 137.
Flip 47 Bravo, low, climb level 2,
25,000 coming up, we'll let the crew know.
Goedemorgen, Kazabi 6901 out of 2,000 feet, 21 channel departure.
Vorige Transat 6901,
And they can all start cabin cleanup. You can see we're getting closer to our overspeed. Keep it at 7.9 for now.
Departure very well. Philadelphia 15 Mike. Could you when I got departure passing 2,300, climbing level 60.
I think those clouds are on the coast of Belgium,
Climbing level 130, Philadelphia 15 Mike.
running the edge there with the water being clear. Well, there we are, 25,000 feet. We're waiting to capture, and it's captured.
South 15 Mike, contact 123.850.
2385, Philadelphia 15 Mike, dank u wel, tot ziens.
Hoi.
So when we start this turn, we are on our approach mode. So no weather concerns that we can see.
Dag, Scandinavian Quebec, climb level 130.
Climb level 130,
Everything is looking good. So it should be right about there.
There we go. Italia 75 Charlie F1.
Italia 75 Charlie 10, climb level 130.
Climbing 130, Italia 75 Charlie.
And there's the turn, so speed will come back to 7.6. And altitude will go down to 16.
Departure below Philadelphia, 8 Bravo is passing 2,200 feet on the kilophonic departure.
And we will descend at 2,000 feet per minute. And again, we're going to monitor. Okay, everybody can go sit down.
Bravo passing flight level 9er zitten, climbing level 13 zitten.
Flip 47 Bravo, low, climb flight level 210.
Climb flight level 210.
There we go.
47 Bravo.
Coast of England.
901 out of 2,000.
It's a river crouch. We'll be crossing over right about there. Basically straight line out and then zig around. London's just over here. Alright, so you're gonna go to that mode and stay there. So 16 at Sabre. Heading up into no-go territory. So I'm going to turn that down to 6.7 now. There we go.
Departure very well. Philadelphia 15 Mike. Could you when I got departure passing 2,300, climbing level 60.
South 15 Mike, climb level 130.
It's down,
Climbing level 130, Philadelphia 15 Mike.
I think that's Kent down there.
South 15 Mike, contact 123.850.
2385.
It's
Philadelphia
20,000
15 Mike,
feet.
dank u wel, tot ziens.
Hoi.
It's starting to get some high cloud buildup.
KLM Quebec 2,200 on outbreak.
Dag, Scandinavian Quebec, climb level 130.
Climb level 130,
No real other altitudes are set. I think we're gonna aim for what, 4,000 at Lamb? Yeah, we'll go 4,000 for Lamb. There's Lamb right there.
Landing 130, Italia 75 Charlie.
One zero is what I'm going to want. So we're going to regular setting and 1010. Okay, we're now in approach. And everything is set. So seatbelt signs are on, radios are set. Speed establish down to 250. Switch over, there we go. Through Sabre, we're going down to 4,000. It's 2,000 feet per minute.
Departure for West, Sofia 15 Mike. When I got departure passing 2,300 climb level.
Currently not seeing any other aircraft. In that weak autumn sunlight coming through the clouds.
South 15 Mike, onderweg dan 23.850.
2385, dan zag je 15 Mike, dankjewel, tot ziens.
Hoi.
That is the Thames Estuary, Thames River, all the way up to London and beyond. I think it goes almost all the way up to Wales or down to, is it down into Somerset? I can't remember, but it goes pretty far past. Let's crank that up a little bit fast, a little bit higher.
Buongiorno, Italia 75 Charlie Airborne.
Italia 75 Charlie, buongiorno, climb level 130.
Landing 130, Italia 75 Charlie.
And we're going to add some speed brake. Start getting the speed down a little bit. Weather radar is starting to pick up the little bits coming out of here. That's fine. You set to 20. Still no traffic. Coming up for 10,000. A bit more on the speed brake.
Goedemorgen, ik kan hem voorzetten. Bravo, passing flight level 9ers in, climbing level 137.
10,000 speed set to 250.
Departure from Abu Dhabi 6901 out of 2,000 feet, 21 channel departure.
Landing lights are on.
Flight to level
Landing
130
system activated. Fuel quantity is good. Gear is up. Flaps are up. Yeah, maybe Heathrow's quiet at this time of day. I don't know, it's unusual for that airport. So our speed's now down to 250, we're through 7,000.
Departure for West, Sofia 15 Mike. When I got departure,
Going for 4, so that's 3,000 feet and 7 miles. We'll keep up this rate of descent.
Sofia 15 Mike, climb level 130.
Climbing level 130, Sofia 15 Mike.
Well, the thing with the flight sim too is that they're way short on amount of aircraft that should be around. And it should be a slider to set a percentage, like 50% of actual traffic or whatever. But doesn't seem to be a lot of it out there. So he's off to 2,000. We'll bring the speed brakes in. We'll speed a little up a little bit, but that's fine.
KLM 9 Quebec 2,200 on off departure.
Staff, can I have a Quebec, climb level 130.
Climb level 130, KLM 9 Quebec.
One 110.3, 110.3. Alright, that's us at LAM at 4,000. Speed 250. So I'm going to bring this down to 2,500. And we're going to descend at a 1,000 feet per minute. I will go 800 feet per minute. Since we're now on the arrival, our speed will come back to 210. Landing lights are checked on. Taxi light is on. Ground spoilers are armed.
6901 out of 2,000 feet, 21 channel departure.
Auto brake set to low.
Flight to level 130 to Savage 690.
Our speed is still high, so we're not going to change anything yet. Are you talking about in real life, or the messages that I've got going? Because my ones are looping. All right, 2,500. We're almost down. Yeah, my ones are on a recorded loop, just as background noise.
Departure for West, Sofia 15 Mike.
All right, so we're gonna leave you at 20. I'm gonna move you to 10.
Level 60.
Sofia 15 Mike, climb level 130.
Climbing level 130, Sofia 15 Mike.
There we go, IR. We have the correct ILS now appearing. We're down to 2,500, so the speed's starting to come down. There's London, there's the O2 Arena. There's that loop. We're going to head back over that way and then come around. So we might see some of it. Alright, speed coming down. Speed's at 210. Alright, speed check, flaps 1. Flaps are moving. Welcome to Northwest London.
Buongiorno, Italia 75 Charlie Airborne.
Italia 75 Charlie 110, climb level 130.
Climbing 130, Italia 75 Charlie.
Alright, given the turns that are coming up, we're going to bring our speed back to 180. And we're going to go to flaps 2. It's 200 knots, speed check, flaps 2. I was looking for a second like I didn't have a symmetrical deployment on my flaps. Interesting.
Goedemorgen, Killam 47 Bravo, passing fly level 9er 0, climbing level 130.
Killam 47 Bravo, low, climb
Alright.
level 210.
Climb fly level 210, Killam 47 Bravo.
Flying over the northern suburbs here. I'm sure they're very happy to hear us.
Climb to level 130 with Kasabi 690.
So now we are waiting for the lineup onto the ILS. So our speed set for 180. Flaps 2 confirmed. There's the turn. And then this is going to bring us down to the intercept.
Departure for West, Safia 15 Mike. Good at 1 echo departure, passing 2300, climb level 60.
There you go, there's downtown London, London Bridge. There's London City Airport over there. I think that's the Shard? I'm not sure. Alright, now turning into intercept. So, over to landing systems.
KLM 97 Quebec, 2200 on arm, big departure.
Staff, KLM 97 Quebec, climb level 130.
Climb level 130 to 97 Quebec.
Alright. Approach mode is armed.
Buongiorno, Italia 75 Charlie
I'll let the aircraft work it out.
Italia 75 Charlie 110, climb level 130.
Climbing 130, Italia 75
We're just under 12 miles out from Heathrow. There's Palace of Westminster. Where the British government works out of. There we go. Turning on the localizer. So we're localizer capture mode, ground speed, or glide slope capture mode. There's the airport. Localizer's alive, glide slope's alive. 10.5 miles out.
Level 7 Bravo, level level 210.
Flight level 210, Scanum 47 Bravo.
Goedemorgen, Transavia 6901 out of 2000 feet. Ready,
Speed 180.
Morgen,
Good.
Transavia 6901, stem level 130.
Flight 2 level 130, Transavia 6901.
Localizer capture. Nine and a half miles out. All right, 126 is a little slow. Glide slope is captured. Airspeed coming back to 145. Come on. Flaps 3 and gear down.
Departure very well. Transavia 15 Mike. When I got departure passing 2300, climb level 60.
Transavia 15 Mike, climb level 130.
Climb level 130, Transavia 15 Mike.
Looks like we got an aircraft coming in behind us, which is all good. Alright, so we're on the glide slope. We are on the localizer. Everything is set. Give the cabin check. Ah, worked that time. Slight left crosswind at 26 knots.
KLM 9 back 2200 on big
Landing gear down, autopilot on, go around altitude is set 22,500, auto thrust as required. Landing memo, no blue, landing speed set. Ground spoilers are armed. No aircraft ahead of us. We're cleared to land.
Transavia 7110, climb level 130.
Landing 130, Anita 75 Charlie.
Departure good out, Transavia 8 Bravo is passing 2200 feet on the Kudethonik departure.
A little bit of turbulence.
Level 130, Transavia 8 Bravo.
We're down to 16 knot headwind, 15.
Goedemorgen, Cannon 47 Bravo, passing flight level 9er 0, climbing level 130.
I don't know where it was going. Take over.
Flight level 210, Cannon 47 Bravo.
Departure goedemorgen, Transavia 6901 out of
500, we're a little high.
21 channel departure.
Morgen, Transavia 6901, climb level 130.
Flight 2 level 130, Transavia 6901.
Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Straight.
Departure for West, Tasavia 15 Mike.
And 60 knots. Reversers are off.
300, climbing level 60.
Tasavia 15 Mike, climb level 130.
Climbing level 130, Tasavia 15 Mike.
Well, we're down. Not a great landing. Alright.
Tasavia 15 Mike,
Slow down.
123.850.
2385, Tasavia 15 Mike, dankjewel, tot ziens.
Hoi.
It's quite the hill there. I'll get around onto this taxiway here. And we'll clean up the airplane. So spoilers are disarmed, flaps go up, engine mode selector is set, landing lights will come off, strobes will come off, taxi light is set on, anti-ice will come off, APU will be started, brake temperatures are good, and transponder will go TARA, PWS comes off, radar comes off.
Ontario SFA 3110, climb level 130.
Go back to arc, and we should be good to start to taxi. So APU comes on, and we can taxi to the gate. Heading over to Terminal 2. Where our gate is. Not sure where the aircraft wanted to go on that landing. Started to head off to the left there. Look, dude, aircraft have the right of way here. So you're gonna get out of my way.
Goedemorgen, Kennel 47 Bravo, passing flight level 90, climbing level 130.
Kennel 47 Bravo, climbing flight level 210.
Climb flight level 210, Kennel 47 Bravo.
Departure good morning, Tasavia 6901 out of 2,000 feet, ready, 1 channel departure.
Vorige Transavia 6901, climb level 130.
Climb to level 130.
So that was a little bit of the of my poor flying, and a little bit of a little slop in the joystick, having to go a little bit further than I wanted before it would start to make it turn. Ended up chasing things, which is never good. So the middle area is a construction zone. You can't go, so we're gonna have to go around that. Not sure what they're building in there. It's an extension to this hangar area here, but we're gonna have to go around it.
Departure for West, Tasavia 15 Mike. Good, 1 echo departure, passing 2,300, climbing level 60.
Tasavia 15 Mike, climb level 130.
Climbing level 130, Tasavia 15
So we'll go down Lima here, and then take Bravo around and come in from the south.
Tasavia 15 Mike, contact 123.850.
2385, Tasavia 15 Mike, dankjewel, tot ziens.
Hoi.
Oop. No, we should be able to cut right through here. Go by all the cargo Lux aircraft.
KLM 976, 2200 on arm, departure.
Stuff, good night, Quebec, climb level 1.
It's interesting. Some of the aircraft you can't get the other side right, and some of them they'll flip over when you get really close. But they got work to do for the liveries, that's for sure. Oh yeah, after that landing, a pint would be wonderful.
Buongiorno, Italia 75 Charlie Airborne.
Italia 75 Charlie 10, climb level 130.
Landing 130.
So you look at the Frontier, it's backwards, but I think these are the ones where if you, when you get up close to them, they flip over. Yeah, and now it's facing the right way. Alright, where are we? Okay, we're gonna go out here.
Departure good out Savia, 8 Bravo is passing 2002.
And we're gonna go along Bravo.
Savia, 8 Bravo, ground level 130. Level 130, Savia, 8 Bravo.
As we taxi along this massive, massive airport. We're heading over here.
Goedemorgen, Kennel 47 Bravo, passing fly level 900, climbing level 130.
And our gate is
Kennel 47 Bravo,
beside
level
this
210.
guy.
Climb fly level 210, Kennel 47 Bravo.
Departure good morning, Savia 6901 out of 2000 feet, ready, 1 channel departure.
Morgen, Transat 6901, climb level 130.
Climb to level 130, Savia 6901.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to London. The time is now 10:38 local. Temperature is 5 degrees. Thank you very much for flying with us. Hope you enjoyed your flight. And we'll turn off the taxi, or let's stay on. Taxi light will come off. We are gonna park in here since the other one's full of equipment, and ignore the cars jumping off the top of the building there.
Departure very well. Philadelphia 15 Mike.
Can't wait till somebody comes out with custom airports.
Transat 15 Mike, climb level 130.
And there we are. So, parking brake on. Thrust levers are set to idle. Ground contact is made. Ground operations as required. Do we have external power? We do. So that means the APU can come off. Engines will come off. Parking brake stays on. Beacon comes off. Taxi lights are already off. Exterior lights are off. Anti-ice is required. It's not on. Passengers can do their thing. We're going to call for ground services. And can you please hook up the jetway? APU's off. Fuel pumps will come off.
Quebec 2200 on big departure.
Beacon light is off. ECAM status is good. I'll leave the deers on, that's fine. Avionics can stay on. APU's on. Batteries as required. Guys, that is it. Another successful flight. Oslo to London Heathrow. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for flying with us. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.
Italia 75 Charlie 10, climb level 130.
Landing 130, Italia 75 Charlie.